Lawrence Warunge, aged 22, slaughtered 4 members of his family, including a construction worker, and claimed he got his inspiration from a popular English TV series, Killing Eve. Hello and welcome to another true crime story on my channel. Before we begin today's story, let me quickly give this disclaimer. The details of today's true crime story are quite horrific. If at any point in time you think you can't handle the details of this story, you can discontinue watching. Without taking much of your time, let's get into today's story. Lawrence Warunge has been described by many in the Kiambu community in Kenya as a kid that had a relatively normal childhood. He grew up so well, he was even normally referred to as a role model to other kids. But things drastically changed when Warunge went into the university. He began behaving like a psychopath and began nursing these feelings, this thought that his parents were satanic and wanted to kill him. 2 weeks before the incident, his father had actually arrived from the US. He was actually a US-based nurse. His mother was a nurse in the Kiambu government hospital, and the other 2 victims were his younger brother and his younger cousin and a construction worker working for the family. Lucky enough, his 2 sisters had left for school the previous day before the ugly incident. Even though Warunge regrets the fact that he didn't have the opportunity to kill the entire family because that was his plan, but he couldn't wait any longer because he had been planning for a long time and he had failed twice. He really did not want to miss this third opportunity. A few days before the ugly incident, Warunge specifically asked his girlfriend to get him a knife with a metallic handle. The girlfriend went to the market, got this knife and came back. Warunge said he is willing to do something that was going to make them live happily ever after. He packed up his backpack, left his rented room at Thika where he was living with his girlfriend, and traveled to his hometown Kiambu where his family is based. But when Warunge arrived his hometown or his house, it was quite still early. Everyone was still out going about their daily activities. The mother was still probably at work, but since the father had come from the US, he was out. Maybe he had gone visiting, and the 2 younger brothers had probably gone to school. Few meters away from the house, there was actually another house that was occupied as or used as an accommodation for construction workers that were working for Warunge's family. The other construction worker had finished work that day and left for the mall, maybe to relax. But when Warunge went into the house, he met James. James was in the house going about his own daily chores, minding his own business. When Warunge came in, they chatted for a while and Warunge requested an iron bar from James. James, without hesitation, asking what he wanted to do with the iron bar, gave him the iron bar, and as they continued chatting, Warunge took James unawares, hit him with the iron bar. As he fell on the floor, he used the iron bar to struck him multiple times. He would later tell detectives that he decided to slit James's throat because he had refused to die. He would later stay at this initial crime scene until about 8 p.m. when his father returned that fateful night. Shortly after, he tried to climb the wall into the compound. He got shocked by the electric fence, but he still managed to find his way into the compound. While in the compound, he saw the mother in the kitchen and he proceeded to the main switch and disconnected the power. He had some paraffin which he sprinkled on green paper. On a green paper bag, set it on fire just outside the kitchen door. Out of curiosity, the mother went out to find out where the fire flame had come from. Warunge was already waiting at the kitchen door, and as soon as the mother came out, Warunge used the metal bar, struck the mother at the back of the head. The mother's wailing and crying would soon attract the attention of Warunge's younger brother, Christian. He rushed to his mother's aid to see what was happening. He was stabbed by Warunge, but Christian rushed back into the house and hid under his bed. His younger cousin Maxwell also heard the commotion and rushed out. He was stabbed multiple times and his throat slit. Warunge eventually killed his mother by stabbing her multiple times and slitting her throat. With a bottle of beer he came back with that evening did not have any idea of what was actually going on, but he finally got to hear some cries of distress or the commotion that was actually going on out. He decided to come out. As he came out through the balcony, he saw the other victims laying in the pool of their own blood, and his estranged son was coming towards him. Out of fear and panic, the man jumped from the balcony, but because he was a considerable distance, he got injured, and Warunge took advantage of this, pounced on his father, stabbed the man over 38 times. Convinced that he was going to die of his injuries, he decided to go look for the other brother, that Christian, that he had earlier stabbed, and he rushed back into the house. When he went into the house, Christian was actually hiding under his bed. The poor boy pleaded for mercy to no avail. He pleaded for his elder brother to spare his life, but his pleas fell on deaf ear as Warunge pulled the poor boy out of his bed, under his bed, and stabbed him multiple times and eventually slit his throat. Warunge will soon notice that his father had been struggling and dragging himself towards the gate, maybe to go seek help, but it was unfortunate. He quickly rushed and stabbed the man more, leaving his intestines outside. When Warunge had finished having his blood bath, he went into the house, took off the bloody clothes, went into the shower, had a cool shower, went back to the kitchen, got the meal his mother was preparing, ate some, watched a TV program, and climbed on his father's bed and had some sleep. At about 4 a.m. that day, Warunge fled the crime scene and turned off his phone. Upon leaving the house, he took his parents' phones, the blood-soaked clothes, and all the other weapons that he had, the murder weapons that he had used, took them to a virgin field somewhere and burnt them. It is always obvious for homicide detectives to look at immediate family members each time a crime like this or a homicide actually occurs, because in looking at this case, there was no forced entry into the compound, and anyone that committed this crime must be someone that is so close or knows the family so well, that actually knows how things are done or his way to go around the compound. So the two sisters that had gone to school, they had alibis. They were in school, they haven't left school since, but Warunge was nowhere to be found, and his phone was turned off. But the last signal that was tracked was in his compound, and immediately after that, since his phone was off, there was no way to track him. But a couple of days later, Warunge turned on his phone and his signals were picked. He was immediately traced and arrested. But what baffles a lot of people is the fact that he had no sense of remorse. To him, it's so strange that people were actually mourning the death of his parents. He believed that they were satanic and deserved to die. Even his younger brother, he still regrets the fact that he didn't have the opportunity to kill even the two sisters that are left. So a lot of people think he is not mentally stable. Reason why he was taken to the hospital, so to assess his mental health, to see if he can stand trial. Yeah, it's actually proven that Warunge can stand trial. So, but he has pleaded not guilty to the 5 counts of murder. As of now, he has been charged with 5 counts of murder. The court decision is still to be released, and the case is actually still pending. It is actually really a tragic story. It sounds like a horror movie, but this is the true story of the Warunge's family. May they find peace as justice will be served. Everyone believes so. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you haven't subscribed, please do the needful. Support your girl by hitting the subscription button. It's just a free way to support my channel. Thank you all guys, and hoping to hang around with you in my next video.